Welcome to part 6 of our video series, getting set up with Modius in 20 minutes or less. If you have not watched the previous videos, again, I recommend you watch the previous videos so that you can be on the same page we are. You can see that I've added another customer here. And at this point, we're going to go ahead and start a job and create a job that we can actually clock into. And so over on our navigation menu, I'm going to expand operations and go to jobs. And that's going to take us to our job list page. At this point, you can see we've got no jobs, and so we're going to go ahead and make a new one. And over on the right side, we're just going to click Add New Job, and we're going to give ourselves a prescription. So we're going to say Fulfill Order for Bob's Pharmacy. Invoice number I'm going to leave blank. I'm going to say that job starts today, and it's due a week from now. I'm going to leave the PO number and the invoice URL blank. I'm going to select Bob's Pharmacy. I'm going to leave the long description blank for the time being. And now I've got quantity of items. And I've got quantity of items unit. And the reason we set this up this way is so that a lot of people do a lot of different things. I mean, if you're, if you're building, if you build houses, then you're going to say, oh, one house. If you're building, or one subpart of a house or whatever it may be. If, like in this scenario, we are a health supplement manufacturer, and so my quantity of unit may be one bottle. Oh, excuse me, or it may be 100 bottles, whatever I want it to be. In this particular case, I'm going to just say I'm going to add a new measurement unit and just call it bottles. And then I'm going to go ahead and say that I am doing 500 bottles. And so with that, you can see that you can really kind of customize this so that your employees, when they're clocking in and they're clocking in these jobs, that they know, okay, when I'm reporting that I did something, what did I do? It'll say, well, I'm asking how many bottles did you do? I did 500 bottles. Or I'm asking how many boats did you build? No, I built 5 boats. And so that's kind of what these different this quantity of items unit field is. Tags, we'll talk about tags in a later video as well. Status and total cost. If you're doing this without a quote, so in this instance, we did not generate a quote. This job was not generated from an estimate and a quote. This job is just a job that I'm creating. So what I can do right here is just input a cost, and so my cost that I'm going to have for this is I'm going to say $1,000, I guess, and I can go ahead and save that, and that'll take us to our next screen here, and we can see here's our information that we've entered in, and we have the ability to edit that and add additional information here. And down at the bottom, you can see that we've got selected tasks, time logs, inventory use, sign-offs. These are things that as we start to put work into this, as we start to put time and inventory and sign-offs, this is going to generate with information. But right now what we have, though, is we really don't have any sort of meat to this job. We just got a job. There's nothing to clock into. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a subjob. And now what a subjob allows you to do, it allows you to create a department and put that in a department. Now in this we have a very simple business model. We just have kind of a production facility. And so we're just going to say we're going to add a department called production. Now if I had a Now, if I had a shop that maybe had a shop and it had a field crew, or it had lots of various field crews, this kind of allows you to kind of break these down into different things and add these different sub jobs. But in this scenario that we're doing, we just have we have a production facility and that's it. And so once we've added a sub job, now we can come over here and we have an add process. And again, if you watched the previous video, we've already made a process, and a process is just a way to take tasks and group them together for ease of use. So we're going to go ahead and say add process, and we're going to say select our process we made called prepare product and hit save. And you can see that automatically just brought over all of our information. And now if we look at it, you can see that here's our tasks, and we've got an estimated task time per part. We didn't make this from a quote. Because we did not make this from a quote, these are not applicable. We didn't put any estimates in, so there's none provided here. You can see here we have the ability to add additional tasks. If we have another task that we want to add that was not part of the process, we can do that. If we want to remove a task that was part of this process that is not applicable at this current time, we can do so by closing that. If we want to change the order of these tasks, we can do so using these arrows here. If we want to add inventory items at this point, we're able to do that through adding items. You can also add additional processes, and so if I come and say, oh, I have another process I want to add, I can come through and add that, and since we've only got the one process, it just brought it in twice. But you can start to see that it's very easy to build up a job and have that be set up exactly as you want it to be and exactly as you want your employees to clock into these different tasks. In this particular case, I really don't need two processes of preparing product, so I'm going to go ahead and click that and remove that. So with that, now we're back to where we need to be. We've got everything here updated and done. Again, we've got nothing here because we've never clocked into it. And over here you can see that we have our QR code that is going to be used for the employees to clock into. They're going to scan that with their phones. And so in order to do that, you're going to need to print a job traveler. So if I come over here and select print job traveler, you can see you're able to pull that up and print that. Up here you see that we've got the Modius 360 logo. If you go and change, and again, like the second video, in the settings you're able to upload your video. If you go upload your logo. If you go ahead and do that, you're going to see that your logo is actually up there and ready for you to go and print out and be able to give to your employees or pass around with your product or whatever it may be, so that they can get the work done. But with that, you have made a job. You've gone through the process of getting registered, setting up tasks, setting up a process, adding a customer, and creating a job. And in our next video, we're going to show you how to add users to Modius, and that's really the final step. With everything that we've done, we've gone through very basic things, but the very next step, and really the last step you need to kind of really get started and get working on Modius, is just to add some users, which we're going to do next.